Hey there, beautiful souls. I am Sneh the Lavish Alchemist, and welcome to my channel. It has been such a while. I decided to do a live stream because, first of all, I do not have a camera to shoot on, and that has really stopped me because I have a certain way of liking to shoot my videos. And I'm realizing that I want to burn incense now, but should I burn some incense? Anyway, so this is gonna be a very I'm gonna have to get used to, I guess, things being this way for as long as they need to be this way, since I do not have a camera to shoot on. But I haven't seen you guys in a while. I apologize for going MIA here on YouTube to my YouTube family. I have mostly been on TikTok. So follow me on TikTok. I think it's up there in my header on my profile here on YouTube. Yes, follow me on TikTok. I go live on TikTok often, but I'm being called to get back to YouTube, and I just want to see because I don't know if this is my first time going live on YouTube. So I want to see if everything is going well. I don't even know if this video, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me just drink some water. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. I'm really hoping that you guys can hear me. So, you know what? Let's just let it be. So today's topic is about people that have a spiritual gift. And first of all, you're not being called to go twasa, being called to initiate. You're not, for those that are not being called to initiate, for those that are not really being called to help people, and also for those that are being called to help but also not initiate, right? So this video is about that. I was really called to talk about this topic and this subject. Now, African spirituality is a very broad thing. A very broad thing. We have different tribes. Within tribes, we have clans, and that negates how we go about things spiritually, right? One and another tribe don't do things the same. They could be similar, but we have differences. One thing about African spirituality that we can all say is it is centered around honoring of ancestors. It is centered around working with nature. Centered around working with ancestors and being in tune with nature. That's what I see throughout, just like throughout the world. As Africans, we honor our ancestors and we work hand in hand with nature. Now, when you take that and you look at, when you branch out, there's so much more as you branch out looking at other spirituality. Some people, gosh, let me just talk about me. Within the Xhosa tradition, or within the Xhosa culture, there are there's the Xhosa tribe, but within the tribe there are many clans, right? And certain clans are represented by certain animals and animal totems, or you can call them totems, and that, and we do things a certain way, right? So now you hear that you have a spiritual calling, or you can see that you dream a lot. First of all, I feel like there's different types of people. There's people that are highly intuitive. They intuit things. They just, how do we even how do we say intuition is? Like, when you intuit things, I just want to see something. Give me a second. Okay. When you intuit things, ooh, they have little filters. That's nice. That's nice. Let's see this. Okay, no. Guys, forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. No, this is too much. I think this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Okay, that's good. So when we intuit things, you have this sense of knowing. You just know things. You can't explain why you do. You just know things, right? And then there's a other person that dreams and just has a curiosity with spirituality, and in their lineage, there's spiritual gifts, right? And then there's the third person that is like being called to, yes, you must go and initiate. Like, there is no doubt you have to go initiate. They've dreamt of the beads, they've dreamt of even who they're supposed to be initiated by. Uh, People like that. And wherever they go, it's obvious, that, they need to initiate. With the other two people, though, they can be called or not, meaning that you can have intuition, be intuitive, and just have a natural feel for the spiritual, a natural feel for subtle energy. And it can also be your choice whether you choose to develop that or not. I want to see something. Whether you choose to develop that or not. Guys, you will forgive me. Like, I'm having too much fun. You will choose to develop that gift or not. That's totally up to you, right? So they give your spirit, your ancestors have given you a gift, and it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. And then there's those that are given a gift and are expected to heal people, even though they're not expected to initiate. I am one of those people. I could say my lineage of women have been very gifted. Um, my mom was gifted, and uh, my grandma is quite gifted too, and her mother's mom is very gifted. But I'm not called to initiate. And I remember feeling in my journey like, oh my God, like, what does this mean? If I'm not called to initiate, like, how am I gonna, how am I gonna learn my gift? So this video is also for you if you want to learn how to use your gift. You don't know how to use your gift. You don't know how to even grow spiritually. I'm going to just give you some advice, right? So yes, my journey, I'm going through this hectic spiritual awakening. I have no idea where to start. I don't know who to follow. It's even a bit, can I say worse? It's even confusing these days because we have so much that's out there. We have so much knowledge. We have so many people that are out there, right? And I remember and this is what a lot of people go through when they go through a spiritual awakening. And sometimes your gift will be triggered by any event. If someone passes away, or a child is born, or there's a lot of negative energy in the house, or someone is doing things they're not supposed to be doing, like playing with do I say dark or black magic? Playing with just people's lives basically in the wrong way and manipulating things and causing chaos around you. If you have a spiritual gift, it will be very much triggered. But it's so funny because within these moments, your gift grow, like, it's like your gift, it has no choice but to show itself, right? Fine. I went through my spiritual journey. I think like it was 6 years, yeah, probably like 6 years ago. Six to no 5, I'd say 5 years ago, I started awakening spiritually. I started really questioning a lot about religion, questioning a lot about what is expected from us, what we have been taught, and I was doing my research. So you will first of all start and be in the research phase, right? Your colonialism, you're looking at um what do you call it? We're looking at Christianity, the Abrahamic religions, and you get really ticked off about things that you felt like you should have known and you don't. Oh my gosh, we're all being programmed and all of that stuff. You go down that rabbit hole and you get so frustrated that you've been lied to, but you start awakening little by little, like your ajna, your third eye starts little by little, you know, showing you things. You start seeing things. And I don't mean like seeing things sometimes as like you see a ghost, but you start seeing the veil. The veil of society is being lifted little by little. I hope you guys are not hearing the wind outside, because that might mess up my audio. And guys, I'm a perfectionist a little bit when it comes to making content on YouTube, because I am a filmmaker. Yes, I'm a filmmaker, and I would hate for anyone that has taught me film to come across my channel and I'm not following any of the rules. That would be embarrassing. That would be so embarrassing. But anyway, you're awakening. You're seeing that, oh my God, not everything is what it was, and systems have been put in place like strategically for certain reasons. Okay, cool. Then you start having dreams. You start having these dreams, you're seeing things, and when you're in the state in your spiritual awakening, it's sort of like you live in another world where time is just weird. It's very lucid. It's like you're sort of like in a fourth dimension. I don't know if that's even the accurate description, but you're like in this dimension where time is just very lucid. You can't tell whether you're awake, are you asleep, are you dreaming. I know a lot of people with spiritual gifts, especially with psychic gifts, when you're awakening, this is a phase that you go through where you're like, did I dream this? Is this deja vu? Am I here? Am I there? It's like you can't tell. You're in this state. It's like you're in the cosmic womb where you don't see a way forward. There's no backwards, but you are floating in this nothingness, in this everythingness, and you're receiving so much knowledge. After your research becomes the knowledge phase, or it can all these tend to overlap. They can be both, right? They overlap. Okay, and then maybe you get healers telling you that, hey, you have a spiritual gift, you have a gift, you're gifted, or you start burping. You start the thing where you burp a lot. I know because I'm a South African. As a South African spiritual person, this is like what we do, we burp. I wonder why. I know ancestors, and it's so funny. When I started my YouTube channel, I was so scared. I was so scared because I'd be burping. I was such a perfectionist. I think I hadn't entirely and I'm still going through my journey. I hadn't entirely like accepted my gift. So if I would burp, I'd edit that out, and then I'd have this thing where my guides, because they were so excited that I finally started a YouTube channel, they kept making my nose tingle, and I kept like sneezing a lot. And they would be like flies. Sometimes they come through in different things to show their support, but sometimes it's a lot. It's like, okay, guys, calm down. I need to concentrate. But you're having the dreams, you're having the burps, you're like, okay, people. And it's really, be careful. Like sometimes people will tell, yeah, you have a calling. Okay, cool. If that's so, I honestly feel like in your dreams it should show. In my dreams, like most South Africans, the snake will be there, water will be there. Some people it's lions or whatever, right? In my instance, it was the water, water animals. It was snakes. What else was it? But it was a lot of flying. I know a lot of people go through this phase where they're flying a lot because they're awakening and are receiving higher knowledge, right? Okay, cool. Now, I was not told. I knew for a fact actually that I was not supposed to be initiated. One, because the lineage that the gift comes from is my mom's lineage. Unless it would be someone really further down my own lineage that was about that life, yes, I would. But I knew the woman that was calling me. I found out about her over time. And the woman that gave me the gift was my great grandma. And I was not told to initiate. I was taken to places. I would see things. I would receive codes. I know a lot of us will receive a lot of numbers when we start initiating. I mean, when you start awakening, please write those numbers down. Like these serial numbers that you get in the schools or when you're flying, write the number down. It is a code to a lot of things that you will sooner discover. And I wish I had written my numbers down. I was receiving so many numbers. I wish sometimes it will be like an ID card or whatever. You just write the number down, okay? Right? You won't regret it. You will regret it if you don't write it down, because you stop at some point. It stops. My little thing is falling, so that's why I keep. And I like it. I think it looks so cute. I want to keep it on. But anyway, so it was the numbers, and then all of a sudden I would wake up, and I would see like grids, like everything would be a grid. And I'm like, what's going on? So I'm having all these dreams, right? And I don't understand what's going on, but I'm writing it down. These are downloads. This I'm talking specifically here to the people that are going through a spiritual journey and you're not meant to initiate. These are downloads, okay? You need to write it all down. Some things you're in a when you are awakening and you're having all these dreams, you're in a state of timelessness, meaning that the past, the future, everything is all happening at once and you're receiving codes for all of it. Because everything is always happening at once, spiritually. It's all here. So you are in a place of timelessness. Make sure in this time that you write everything down. And then there is the emotional roller coaster. Yes, this will happen to you, especially if you have not done the ritual for whoever has given you the gift. So, what happens is with every gift, there is a guide or an ancestor that is there giving you and guiding you, right? The sad part about sometimes when you are not when you haven't been to initiation and you're not called to initiate, it's tricky and it's hard to even figure out what's actually going on. Who is calling me? What do they want from me? And for me, luckily, I had had the dreams and I had sort of like an idea. It was either going to be my mother or the one that had called her when she had her calling years ago. And sadly enough, the thing about her was that she got initiated and she wasn't supposed to. So it brought a lot of, what can I say, confusion in her spiritual journey. But knowing all of that, I sort of like did like a, I looked at my lineage and I did a whole tree to figure out what were the problems that my mother went through that I did not want to go through. I don't want to go through the confusion. I don't want to go through getting initiated, but people have ill intent, which is really sad when people have ill intent and you get initiated and they're not, yeah, and they're not doing it for your best interest, basically. So what I would do when I was in the state is that I would pasla for my mom and tell her, look, I'm going through these things. I don't know what's going on. Me, honestly, I feel like the mother is what I would, well, the maternal side is what for me personally, what I was focusing on because that's what I felt intuitively, and that's what made sense, honestly, because I had no contact with the other side in that way, you know? So I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna speak to my mother about it, and I'm gonna have communication with her, and ask her to assist me. And the one thing that I asked was that, look, I do not want to go through the horrendous things that you went through. So I would appreciate if you could lessen the load and just, tell me what's going on. So throughout that, I'm having dreams, obviously. I'm feeding things, and there's the emotional up and down. It can be how, like, one day you're good, one day you're not. Bodily pains, just being tired and being annoyed by people. That happens too. So when I was going through all of that, receiving more dreams, and a lot of us come from families that believe in Abrahamic religions. I'm just going to take this off because it's very annoying. They believe in Abrahamic religions. Give me a second. I'm live, what's up? Okay, cool. I'll come downstairs. Sorry, my friend is here. Um, my friend is.
Say hi.
You can, you can say hi. Oh my god. It's yeah. All right. I'll see you.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So when I was going through that, right? Yes, I tell my mom, I'm like, look, I don't want to go through all of that other stuff that you went through. Like, please, like, don't put me through that. Because they, people back then, it's like ancestors were ruthless. Like, they would put people through some things, some really hectic things. I was already going through hectic things internally, but I think I'm better than most, honestly. But anyway, I talk to her. I go to her, I'm like, hey. Oh, and I was saying, most of us have families that come from Abrahamic religions, right? So it's very hard. Like, it's hard and you feel like you're not supported, especially if the family that you need to, the lineage or like the family line that you're getting the gift from are the ones that have shunned their roots. It's hard, right? Luckily for me, my dad's side of the family, my stepdad, their family had always been doing these things. So this one day, because I grew up with a mom that, funny enough, was also Christian, I had decided, I'm telling you guys about my journey so that you guys can, I had decided that, you know what, I was never allowed to, I was never allowed to join ceremonies because I don't know what she thought. I don't know if she thought that if she keeps me away from these things, that these things won't come to me, but it doesn't work that way. Lineage is lineage, bloodline is a bloodline. So one of these days, I think like 2 years ago, they have a ceremony at my stepdad's side of the family, and I decide, okay, let's go. And I had been getting a lot of dreams. I had been seeing a lot of things. And I was like, for some reason, I was curious. Usually, I would go mind my own business, but this day I was curious. And I go, did I not get the worst pain in my back ever? And I started burping. And I was just twisted in and out. I wasn't even standing in the ceremony like right there. I was at the back. I was literally at the back. And I was at the back. But when I tell you they got me, when I tell you they had me, and the healers in my family were laughing at me because they're like, huh. So my aunt is like, no, maybe it's like the weed that's there that confused her in my mind. I'm like, girl, you have no idea. The weed. Engag. They were in the altar that got me Diamakar. Come on. So so then but the healers in my family sort of gave me like this smirk, like, yeah, we know what it is. And I was like, there's no way it's that. It can't be that. Why would it be that, But then, yes, I go through this journey and I'm receiving downloads. And I think what I like is that I used to write everything down. Knowing that my mom's side of the family practice Abrahamic religions, that wasn't really going to give me much help, right? So I, because I had been constantly asking and saying, look, I want no confusion. Like, my intention was to receive clarity. I was like, I want clarity. And I'd always been good at manifesting like the right teacher at the right time with specific things. So I wasn't really confused. The teachers that I would listen to weren't really confusing me. They would give me a message straight up. So I remember what happened. Or like healers would come to me and tell me like, hey, you have a gift, but I remember one thing that was always reiterated to me was that you have a gift, but you're not meant to twasa, which I was very happy that was the case, honestly, because I was scared. Like, people that go to initiation go through it, guys. Like, they go through it, and I was like, I was going through it in my own way. But yes, that was reiterated to me all the time. You are not meant to initiate. And then I was like, okay, but then what then I meant to do? What am I meant to do? And then the healer would be like, oh, whoever healer's talking to me would be like, no, you're just meant to do your thing. Like, you have a gift, do your thing, be yourself. And it's so funny how this was like, I couldn't put these two things together because I think we're taught that spirituality is like this thing that you have to, I don't know, it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's this thing that's foreign, that's outside of us. And all I was being called to do was to be myself in my spiritual journey, and things will unfold. When I tell you, it was nerve wracking because I was like, what does be myself mean now? And I've been myself my whole life, but I was like, in this instance, within spirituality, it's like I had a cognitive dissonance as to what being myself actually means. But I then was told to do a ritual for my ancestor that is calling me, that is giving me the gift. Did the ritual. And ever since then, things started unfolding. And I saw throughout time as I was, because I had to obviously build a routine where I'm speaking to this ancestor and I'm talking to them. And as time went, it's so funny. As time went, like I did the ritual, and then immediately, because things were blocked in my life, I did the ritual immediately. I started seeing changes, like started seeing hectic changes in my life. Okay, like money was the first thing that was like, bah, here's some money. I was like, oh, okay. But I had to build my spiritual muscle because I was still very, very sensitive. Like now I'm better. I used to not be able to leave the house. I know this is a thing for like people that are spiritually gifted a lot, apart from those that have anxiety, but I used to not be able to leave the house. My joints and everything was sore all the time. So I'm speaking to this ancestor and I start building a relationship with her. And I start telling her, sometimes like calm down, like chill, like it's not that deep, like relax. Sometimes we need to tell them to chill. But anyway, I am doing my thing and I see the changes in my life and I see the strength. It's like I had the strength that was given to me, but still having a bit of doubt because, hey, I'm not one of the people that went and got initiated. So what makes me, I don't know what makes me certified because I've always loved spirituality. I've always loved the occult. I've always done research as a child. Most people that are spiritually gifted liked to watch witchy things. Sabrina, what is it? What's that other one? That other one. Not The Craft. It was that witchy show that used to play late at night. Charmed. We liked things like that for a reason. It's sort of like called us in, and you've most people have always liked the occult and the esoteric. So that's always been my vibe. But it's so funny because I had this cognitive dissonance when I found out I had a gift, because to me African spirituality looked a certain way. You're a songama, you wear, you wear the beads, you do all that. That's African spirituality. In my mind, I was like, that's it, and that's what I'm used to, and that's how it's supposed to be. So it was hard to just merge the two of, hey, yes, you have a gift, but you're not meant to walk that path. You have your own path. And I'm assuming that people watching this video can relate to that. Then I had this desire to learn spirituality. I was like, okay, I had already been on a spiritual journey, I guess, learning in my own way, finding out things. What now? Like, does this mean I must heal people? This is why I say some people are called to heal. And it's a thing, and some people it's a choice. You can, yes, work on your, because spirituality and spiritual gifts are a muscle. The more you work that muscle, the better you get, right? So I think to myself, I'm like, wow, like I love spirituality. I actually would love to, because it's easy for me to teach. I would tell people things and they would happen to them, or whenever people would come to me, they'd feel like, hey, like you give me so much clarity, and what, you have a healing energy. People will tell you all these things. Yeah, your aura is this, yeah, whatever. And I thought, you know what, like, let me give this a try. Let's see how this goes. Like, I don't know. I'm dreaming a lot. I'm receiving things about people. I'm seeing things for people. I tend to easily help people transform. So let's take this seriously. Let's see. And I'm telling you, if you want to see a change, obviously, if you have a spiritual calling and you're being called, you have to, first and foremost, what has helped me, and I've seen what has helped other people, is doing that ritual that connects you to that ancestor that is calling you. That is step one, because that solidifies things. Like, because when you have a spiritual gift and you're awakening, you feel like you're just floating. You feel like even your reality is floating left, right, and center. When you do that ritual, it's like these roots just come down and you ground. There's this sense of grounding that happens that I got. And over time, while I was, ngipahla, doing my thing, it's like I strengthened that root chakra through that, right? That will help, right? Knowing obviously when more patla what you're supposed to patla with, that will help you a lot in growing your spiritual gift. Knowing what to patla and who to call. And look, I'm a Pitorihan and Nigumtos. I didn't grow up in Eastern Cape. I didn't grow up in Eastern Cape. I grew up here. So even this speech, some and Patla was very like, and I told my ancestors, I tell my mom, I'd be like, hey mom, like, hey, please translate if I'm not saying the right things. My mom is late, so I also Patla for her. I would be like, look, please translate. Like, when I tell you, Shem, my ancestors are so loving because I don't have the best. As Tosa Sam is not is not the, but they still give me what I want. Funny enough, like, I obviously make an effort on my end, but yes, they give me what I want regardless. I still am protected and loved, and I tell you, ancestors are. But anyway, so that happens. You have to have a routine. You have to be serious. Like, pasha for that ancestor. Give your offerings, and some of them don't even, like, depending on who your ancestors are, some don't even ask for much. Like, my ancestors are pretty low maintenance, and I still get what I want. Some of them just want water and certain candles and maybe a fruit or two or something, you know. And secondly, there is obviously working on your mental, working on your consciousness, working on certain beliefs. This will very much benefit you personally and also benefit your spiritual journey, where not only are you spiritually gifted and you have this ancestral gift, but it is elevated and it is transcendent because you change your beliefs and you're healing your lineage through that. I know a lot of people that are sangomas, but then their mentality and their consciousness is not that evolved because they haven't actively worked on their beliefs, right? And it shows in their life. With African spirituality, we actually have certain spirits that deal with consciousness and sort of like the laws of assumption. These are like air spirits that are bird like. They actually deal with higher concepts, universal concepts. Those spirits can usually be around you if you're a person that likes things like, the laws of assumptions and all of that. When I tell you, using like my ancestors and using these laws, and I wish honestly that I had done more research or would have known these laws according what they're called in African spirituality, and I am learning that, but I had received that knowledge through, I guess, what we all consciously have decided to receive it through, which is like the laws of assumption that come from American esotericism. These are the people like Bob Proctor, The Secret, what. Consciously, it's like we all consciously, subconsciously have chosen to receive that universal teaching in that way. But there's so many universal teachings that are African within themselves. So when you're on this journey, do yourself a favor. Work on your beliefs. Uh, work on your beliefs. Look at your lineage. Look at how you guys dealt with money, what the relationships were, talents, and all of that, and work on beliefs. Working on your beliefs it's just gonna make things even sweeter. And if you're even attracted to certain deities, and for me, I love Vedic, or let's just say a lot. Well, Hinduism is a broad term, but I love the goddess spirituality, Shaktiism. Within Hinduism, I work a lot with certain deities and I chant certain mantras because why my spiritual gift is mostly very open to universal energy. So if you feel called to, maybe, I don't know if it's Buddhism, Taoism, anything, go with the flow, especially if you are told that, hey, your spiritual journey, you're not meant to upata, but it's going to grow on its own. you'll be led. Your spirit will lead you. And trust. Build beliefs where you trust yourself. I think I have here on my channel a meditation for spiritual gift. Try that one out. Try it out. But build trust within yourself, and your routine will always win. If you are consistent in your spiritual routine, you're gonna see like your gift is actually gonna grow. And don't focus too much on wanting the gift to grow. Just do your routine and let it go. Do the routine, let it go, and you'll see as time goes. Obviously, take the action if you feel like you want to do tarot readings, if you feel like things like tarot, divination is really good to really build that spiritual muscle. Don't be afraid. And I know you deal with, like, a lot of us deal with feeling like we're not worthy because you haven't been initiated, so you feel like you don't have the rites of passage. But trust yourself, trust your guides, trust what you're being led to do, and do it. Get to it, because you have people that are being assigned to you that need to hear things specifically from your mouth, and you keeping that information away and blocking your throat chakra is not only blocking you, but it's sort of limiting you from experiencing the fullness of your experience here on earth as a being, as who you are. So get to it. Do your rituals, and then there comes a point where you have to trust yourself, especially if you want to heal people and you want to help people. You're gonna need to trust yourself eventually. It's gonna need to be a point where you're not hiding in just the research phase. You're gonna need to listen. You're gonna need to get to it and trust that the right information is gonna come to you, and stop feeling like, no, I don't have enough information, I don't know. You need to start. You need to start. Some things, some downloads you're only gonna get when you are starting and you're on your journey. Some things will only be unlocked once you start actually taking the steps. You can't have it all at once. And it's so funny because I've talked to people that have been initiated and they're still saying, hey, they're learning their gift still. It's not like, bah, everything is known. Yes, they get initiated too, and then they still have a journey to walk on being initiated. So be careful also for people that just want you to initiate for the sake of them getting your money or doing just the most horrible things. And if you're being called to initiate, really set the intention every single day that you will meet, and trust that you will meet the right Gobela for you that has to do those things. And if you're not called to do that, and you have your intuition, you have the gift, you have the dreams, and you wish to heal people, and you wish to what can I say, you wish to help people, do so. Speak to your guides about it, speak to your ancestors about it, and let them know what your plans are, because they will really help guide you. And yes, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. Maybe I might do a part 2, part 3, I will see. And I love you all, and I will see you. I'm so glad I'm back. For those, follow me on TikTok. For my YouTube fam that hasn't seen me in a while, I will be posting though frequently here on YouTube and having topics. And yes, I am so glad I'm back, and I love you all. How do we go off?